You've made the promise 100 times. Tomorrow, the diet starts. But by 10 p.m., the resolve crumbles, and you find yourself staring down a greasy, perfect burger or a bag of salty chips. Why does this happen? Why do we actively crave the exact foods we know are damaging our bodies? And once you start, the momentum is nearly impossible to stop. You tell yourself just one chip, but somehow the entire bag disappears. Your brain is executing its original survival programming. This behavior is the result of a biological system functioning exactly as it was designed to. We are fighting a mismatched battle. We are bringing ancient survival instincts to a fight against modern, highly engineered food environments. Thousands of years ago, human survival depended on finding quick sources of energy. High-calorie fats and sugars were incredibly rare in nature, making them highly valuable. This animated diagram breaks down how our ancestors survived. You discover a calorie-dense food, and your brain triggers a chemical release of dopamine, the reward molecule. That hit of pleasure builds a memory, training you to crave it and seek it out again. But modern food scientists have hacked this diagram. They combine precise ratios of sugar, fat, salt, and crunch to create what's known as hyperpalatability. When these engineered inputs hit the cycle, the dopamine release spikes massively. That artificial spike is far stronger than anything found in nature. It's so intense that your stomach's natural fullness signals are completely overpowered. Your brain ignores the fact that you're full because the dopamine hit is just too loud. This override is not an accident. As you can see from early production lines like this one, processed snacks are deliberately formulated by technicians and machinery to hit those exact biological targets. And this engineered threat surrounds us. A walk down any modern grocery store aisle shows an environment entirely saturated with these precise, hyper-palatable exploits. A bag of chips is a calculated biological hack, perfectly tuned to weaponize our deepest survival mechanisms against us. As if the food engineering wasn't enough, our daily routines create physiological blind spots that leave the brain even more susceptible to these snacks. Take stress, for example. When you're overwhelmed, your body floods with cortisol. This hormone acts as a direct command to the brain, demanding immediate, high-calorie comfort to handle the perceived threat. Then there is sleep deprivation. This chart visualizes our primary hunger hormones, ghrelin, which makes us hungry, and leptin, which tells us we're full. Normally, they sit in a balanced equilibrium, but when you don't sleep enough, that balance violently breaks. Ghrelin skyrockets while leptin plummets. Your brain interprets this hormonal scramble as a massive energy deficit. It panics and heavily dials up your cravings for junk food to compensate for the missing energy. Exhaustion and stress create a physiological state where hormonal signals effectively silence the centers of the brain responsible for self-control. Under these conditions, the drive to consume energy outweighs the conscious decision to stop. But understanding this chemistry gives you the upper hand. Because cravings are driven by your environment and biology, you can use those exact same tools to decide them. First, modify the environment. If snacks are easily accessible, like in this localized vending machine, your brain will choose them. Keeping junk food physically out of reach forces your hardware to default to easier, healthier choices. Second, change the fuel. Eating more protein and fiber stabilizes your digestive system. This prevents the sudden hunger spikes that trigger your brain's panic response. Third, regulate the hardware. Prioritize consistent sleep and actively lower your stress with a walk or deep breathing. This keeps your cortisol and hunger hormones at their natural baselines. Finally, avoid extreme restriction. Completely banning all junk food backfires because it triggers your brain's evolutionary starvation panic all over again. Perfection isn't the goal here. Once you understand the mechanics of your ancient machinery, you can actually control it rather than letting it control you. Which engineered junk food is your biggest weakness? Burgers, fries, sweets? Drop it in the comments and subscribe for more